Hello YouTube, welcome to Hilly's. I've got a brief review for you today. Something that I already own. It's all things I already own. It's not like I'm getting paid or sponsored by anybody, but anyway, I've got 3 sets of headphones that I wish to review, and there's a reason for this. So I, first of all, had these earbuds here. These are the Sony WF-1000 XM4s. I had these a couple of years now. These came out, I believe, 2021. I jumped on the bandwagon in 2022. Everyone raves about them. Great quality, great active noise cancellation, and I really enjoyed them. I'll quickly show you the devices themselves. I show you here the earbuds. These are still available. I think they're on Amazon for about £150. You probably get them cheaper on deals. They look nice. They sound really good. Not as punchy as I would necessarily like, but earbuds typically don't have that punch that certainly me as a bit of a bass head would enjoy anyway. But they sound clear. There's lots of options, lots of upscaling options, lots of ability to change the way the headphones sound. Fantastic all round. One thing I will say, I don't know whether this is isolated to me or if this is something other people have had. The earbud tips, so these aren't the original tips. They come with foam tips that give you a level of passive noise cancellation. So what you're supposed to do is squeeze the memory foam, put it into your ear, and it holds it there nicely, as well as provides passive noise cancellation. And then the active noise cancellation will then do the rest of the horsework for your listening pleasure. However, after some use, I will say as well, I was using these to sleep at night. So I would put them in, usually just one in my right ear, and I would fall asleep listening to a podcast or music or rain. Yes, I'm one of those people. And it would see me through the night. Battery life on them was really good. However, what I then noticed after a couple of months was the memory foam was starting to crack. It split a little bit to begin with, and then the other side did, and then it just disintegrated. So I then went and looked for replacement tips. I couldn't find any official Sony replacement tips, so I then bought some reasonably priced, what was supposed to be memory foam replacements for these specific earbud model type, and they're rubbish. And I know that's not on Sony's, Sony's fault. It's my fault for having toxic ears. It's the producer of this rubbish ear tip for their part in this whole debacle. But yeah, they weren't great. That passive noise cancellation was just gone. Active noise cancellation still worked really well, but it is what it is. And I then stopped enjoying listening to these as much. And also, they also wouldn't stick as snugly in my ear, so they'd fall out. So multiple times I'd wake up at night and I didn't know where this was. One time, I won't say where it was, but it was certainly woke me up when I realised. Anyway, yeah, these things just ended up going everywhere. I'd wake up and they were gone, and it's like, where on earth are they gone? I'd find them all over the bedroom. Until one day I actually lost it. And now obviously, as you can tell, I found it because it's here, but I actually lost the right earbud. And for these particular headphones, they are the type whereby the right is the main earbud and the left is a secondary, what then provides the dual audio. But without the right one, the left one does nothing. You can't play it on its own. So with the right one gone, these were dud. I might tell you in a minute if I remember what happened with that and why it's now here when it wasn't. But anyway, I didn't spend a great deal of time searching, I must admit, actually, because what had just come out at the time were the Sony WF-1000 XM5s. You'd think, considering not only is this my second take of this video, but I've just told you what these were called, and these are virtually the same except with a 5 at the end instead of a 4. You'd have thought I'd remembered that better, but I didn't. Anyway, so yeah, I bought these. These had just come out when I'd lost the right of the XM4s, XM5s. Everyone was raving about it. What Hi-Fi raved about it. Richer Sounds raved about it. Some YouTuber raved about it. What do they know? And I thought, yes, I'm going to get it. I've got an excuse now to tell my missus that's why I need to spend more money on things I don't really need because I lost the right earbud for this. So I bought these and I was disappointed straight away. The battery life on them, although stated as being equivalent to the XM4s, I found it just didn't work. It just wasn't anywhere near the same level. It says it can do 8 hours on a single charge. It didn't see me through a single night on my first night. I believe I may have had hear through rather than noise cancellation on by accident, because taking me to my next point actually, these are touch sensitive earbuds, so you can control them by touch. What I think happened was I'd had them in, I'd fallen asleep, they'd been activated when I had turned or moved my hand or something, and rather than being on just normal sound, it activated the hear through, and then the whole night it was then just a battery drain, and probably not even 6 hours. I don't even think it was 5 hours actually from memory. These were then telling me that they needed charging, and it's incessant. It tells you over and over again, Jonathan, put your teeth back in. So it woke me up. So first night I'd spent £250 give or take at the time on these, and I was gutted because I thought these are already, they're a leg down from the XM4s. These look nicer. It's a sleeker case. I'll just very quickly show you. Much sleeker case, much thinner. The actual earbuds themselves, I'll quickly show you. Look much sleeker, much nicer profile. They sit nicer in the ear. They don't stick out as much. There's no bulge. I'll just show you my bulge actually. Bear with me one sec. Let me get my bulge out. Look at this. Oh, look at that bulge. Look at that. What a bulge that is. Oh. Anyway, yeah, so that had a bit of a bulge on it, whereas this doesn't. It's nice and sleek and smooth. Look at that. It's like a kidney bean. What a comparison that is, Sony. Put that in your advertising. So yeah, so it's much smoother. So they fit well, and when I lay on them, although they would still put a bit of pressure on the inner workings of my ear, whatever the right terminology is for that, they were comfortable. But the battery life killed it for me. What I also noticed as well is the memory foam tips. So these actually are and these are the ones that came with this. These actually are the memory foam tips that you're supposed to use with these devices. This is what came with it. And so you can see, you squeeze it a little bit, and that didn't work on camera at all, did it? Okay. Yeah, you're supposed to squeeze them, you put them in, and then it just comes back out just ever so slightly. They come out into the ear canal, put a little bit of pressure on there, again provides passive noise cancellation. That works well. What I found with these though, and these were the smallest tips that came with this device, not that I'm saying I have tight canals, but you know, that's what fit best. I found that, funnily enough, talking of the last ones, these are now cracking on the phone. I hadn't noticed that. Anyway, they put pressure inside the ear canal. So when I'd warm them for a little bit, I'd get tired ears. Is that even a thing? I think you know what I mean. They were tiresome to wear. You'd feel that ache in the ear. And so right away, my whole purpose for these was nighttime, 8 hours at night, put them in, listening, and I want to be comfortable. I had high hopes, just absolutely dashed them immediately. So I've moved away from these entirely. However, and ironically, I'm going to tell you, these are now my new favourite earbuds, and I don't even use them at night time because I still just think, do you know what, I'm not spending any more money. I'm not spending any more money on earbuds for nighttime. I'll just carry on using these. They don't fit well, they don't fall out. I did find it eventually in a deep dark crevice of the room, and I thought I'm just going to carry on using these. But I did want something else, because for my walks, for my going to the gym and whatnot, I wanted something that was good sounding, good battery life, good ANC, active noise cancellation for people who don't know things. And I landed on these. These are the Jabra Elite 8 Active Gen 2s. I think I actually bought my partner the Elite 8 Active Gen 1s, although they weren't called Gen 1s at the time, about 15 months ago, something like that. And she loved them. She was absolutely smitten with them. She wanted some because I raved about these. Saw I got these, and then I think it was a bit of jealousy, to be honest. Wanted something for herself, but didn't want these because I hated these. So I bought her those. She loved them, and I then recently thought I'm going to buy something myself, and these are fantastic. I cannot rave enough about these earphones. They technically may not have the same level of sound quality. And by the way, I'm not saying that they sound bad. I don't actually know. I'm sure there's audiophiles out there who are going to say, no, you're objectively wrong, Jonathan, because of this sound graph chart thing. But these, at the very best, at the very least, are 80% of the sound quality that the Sonys have, if not more. And they're a little bit punchier as well, which I like. I think they're more for people who are a little bit active, going to the gym and whatnot. And they sound better. They do sound much better for my personal taste. The active noise cancellation, again, is maybe only 80-90% as to what you get from the Sonys, but that's enough because the Sonys are fantastic at ANC. But yeah, it's 80-90% of the way there. Most sounds are dulled, if not suppressed entirely. It works well. But the battery life on these is phenomenal. Now, it's stated as up to 56 hours, including case charges. I can easily get 10 hours plus on a single charge on these headphones. And you can see these, again, are sleek. Maybe not as pretty as the XM5s. They got a little bit more of an edge to them, particularly on the front, if that's the right term, the bit that sticks out of your ear. But they fit really well. I like them. Other people, I'm sure, may say, no, not for me. But these, I find they fit snugly within my ear. They fit nicely. And ironically, they don't... Well, that's the wrong use of ironically. I've done the very thing I hate people doing. But anyway, it's not ironic at all. It's just a point. I'm just making a point. Just go with it, please. These don't have the memory foam tips. These just have silicone tips. And I don't know if that's clear at all. But they're quite... Yeah, short on the white background, clean background. Quite flimsy. Just going to sit here flicking the tip. There we go. That's enough flicking the tip. But yeah, they're thin. They're flimsy. And for me, the point of these is they're the king of active noise cancellation. And then they have a level of passive noise cancellation because of the memory foam. But actually that is tiring to me. So for short bursts, wonderful. For long commutes, for sleeping in them, for going to the gym, I find them tiring. These, they don't have quite the expertise of the noise cancellation that these do, but they are 90% of the way there. They sound phenomenal, and the amount of sound they block is tremendous. And they do it without the earbuds or the ear tips. Again, just going to flip my tip here just to prove a point a bit longer. That the other ones do, so they go in nicely. They're not tiresome. I've worn these for multiple hours at a time, and you barely even notice they're there. The only time I did notice them there, again, don't know whether this is a me thing. I can't remember what I was doing now. I did something, and I kind of felt like they moved up slightly. They didn't fall out. I actually did this to see whether they would, just to test them, and they didn't. They stayed in. I flung my head round, no issues whatsoever. I cannot recommend these highly enough. They've got a few other nice little tricks as well. They've got this Dolby spatial audio where you can plug your USB-C into another device, and I think it's supposed to be for gym use, where you can plug it into like a treadmill and listen to the gym's audio in your own little cocoon rather than having to listen to the sweat monkey next to you, listening to it at the same time. But for me, it'd be connected to my phone anyway, so it's not really a point. I'll tailor my own music. Thank you, Mr. Gym owner. But these are fantastic. These are really well made. The heft, actually. The heft. Oh, actually. Bear with me. I've got to feel the heft. It certainly feels denser. I think they're probably, if only a few grams, I think they're about on par with the XM4s. But the XM5s are much lighter from feel. And if I'm wrong, feel free to tell me. Happy to be told, and I'm happy to ignore you. But yeah, the XM5s definitely feel lighter, which I'm presuming is why the battery life's terrible, because I'm presuming the heft is from the batteries in these, and they are brilliant. So if you need long lasting, good sounding, good active noise cancellation, you want something in a sleek package, whilst it's a little bit taller than the XM5s, they're actually a little bit thinner on pretty much all accounts. Can we get that? Get that in the background here. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's a similarly sized package, fit nicely. Just get these. I cannot recommend them enough. I'm not sponsored. No one's paying me to say this. This is just my opinion. I can't say how many pairs of headphones, over the ear cans and earbuds and everything else I've had. But yeah, these are my winners right now. These are fantastic. Please, if you're into the market, maybe go and test some first. I would highly recommend. So if nothing else, I say Hilly guarantee of quality for what it's worth with only 6 subscribers. Anyway, that's me for today. I'm gonna call it quits there. I hope you enjoyed the review. Tried to get in a little bit more of an active style rather than sat here being all self-deprecating. Hopefully I've not said as much as I have been doing, because that's been pointed out to me. Thank you, Mum. Appreciate the feedback. So have a great day, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.